got all that, you just all worked out. You just walk around just like that. You just got all that six-pack, boop, 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 all that down there. I can tell your rituals. So you get up every day, and you get up, and you make sure you run. You don't let a week go by without getting out there and sweating, working hard, and working out, because that's the reason why. You don't just drink some drink and all of a sudden that happens. You have rituals. Woo! And I can look around and tell some of the rituals that we have. We are products of our rituals and habits. Rituals and habits. Rituals and habits. Rituals and habits. So if you got a little extra money in the bank, you got a little something, somebody say, yeah. If you just, some of you, ooh, there y'all, ooh, Jesus, I forgot where I was at. I was at church. I don't want to say, I ain't going to say what I got. But if you're thankful that you have a little something, won't we all just clap our hands? And no, we won't tell you, nobody knows now. Nobody knows. But I guarantee you that if you have a little something, the transmission break down and you got a little extra that you ain't worried about it. You got, there's a problem or something happen. You ain't worried about it because you got a little about 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 in the bank that you can take care of. That's as a result of rituals. You have a ritual of saving money, and you just do it. You do it. It's your ritual. You do it. And some of us, rituals. Look at somebody and say rituals. Listen, nasty little habits. Let me go quickly. So we all have certain habits. We all have certain habits in our minds and our head, and we can all, maybe if you're taking notes, go on and you can say your particular habit, what it is, bad or good. But if you really, really want to be honest and want to know what your habits are, because habits are things that you don't recognize that you do, but you do, is go and ask your spouse, okay? Ask your spouse. Ask that person that's the closest to you, your closest best friend. Ask them. They'll tell you what your habits are. They'll tell you what you do all the time when you're not looking. Somebody say habits. Quickly, understand this, is that you're saying, Pastor, depressed, Fred, why are you talking about my habits? You know what? Here's the point. My habit, that's just a little old habit. It's so little. It's so little anyway. Why are you all preaching against my habits? They little. It's nothing big. That's just little. It's so little. Why are you getting all on me like you ain't got nothing wrong with you? That's just a little habit. That's just little. It's not even a big thing. It's just my little thing that I like to do. It's just my little thing. It's so, help me out. But I want to take you to the book of Song of Solomon real quickly. I don't have time to delve into it like our sister going to delve into it, like she going to break it down. But let me just give you this quick verse in the book of Song of Solomon, the 15th verse from the 2nd chapter. He said this. He said, catch us the foxes, the little foxes that spoil the vine. Little things that constantly spoil the harvest. Oh, we sing about a harvest. A harvest is coming in. A harvest. But the harvest can come in, but if you have little things that are constantly eating away at it, pulling it away, then when you have the vine, but you'll lose all of the tender grapes. And there is nothing more frustrating than having a vine with no grapes. You're saying, I'm pouring water into the vine. You're saying, I'm giving fertilizer. I'm doing everything for the vine. Why is it that it doesn't have grapes? It has grapes, but you have little foxes that you haven't caught. You have little bitty habits. You have little things that you allow to continue to go on. You have little attitudes that you just allow to go on. And as a result, when the time comes, you have no fruit. I was running last week, and the Lord put this word in my spirit. I had to write it down. I threw it up on Facebook. Some of y'all hit it. I said this. I said, work your faith now so that when the time comes, your faith can work. I'm going to say that again. Work your faith now so that when the time comes, your faith will work. When the emergency comes, your faith kicks in. Work your faith now. You would hate, the worst thing you would hate is you didn't work your faith out, is out of shape, your faith is out of shape, out of tune, and now all of a sudden something's happened. Somebody's died, somebody's almost died, an accident happens, and now you call in your faith, and your faith comes out like, what we gonna do? What you want? What? Gotta speak to that? Okay, hold on just a minute. Let me stretch out. Hold on just a minute. Here we go. What am I gonna say? You don't want your faith to be so out of tune. You don't want your faith to be so out of shape that when it comes time to call your faith, you got to pull on a faith that when the time comes and somebody's in the middle of a car accident, you want to be able to say, Jesus! And then, how many of you know what I'm talking about? How many of you been there before? When you don't have time to think, you don't have time to say the right thing. You want your faith so strong and so built up that when the time comes, that your faith is ready. So it might be little habits, but you got to call that habit what it is. It's a nasty habit. I'm going to say it again. It's a nasty habit. It's not nice. Don't fool yourself and think that it's nice. Can I go old school on you? Bootzilla, baby, it ain't even nicety. Nicety is half nice and half nasty. It ain't even nicety. Tell it what it is. It's nasty. It's not good. It's not healthy. It doesn't benefit you. That little attitude that you have, that you just don't let nobody influence you, and you don't let nobody tell you what to do, and now your wife can't encourage you and influence you. Can't nobody tell me what to do. It's just me. And you think that's benefiting you? That's not benefiting you. It's driving you apart from your family and from your wife. You're not being influenced by anybody. It's nasty, and it's not good for you. It's not good for you. That little way that you just like to control everything, and everything got to go your way, and it got to be the way you see it, and you're not God. It's not good for you. It's nasty. Look at the Bible. Look at the Bible. Verse 12 of 1 Corinthians 6. Paul said this. He says, all things are lawful for me, but not all things are helpful. All things are lawful for me, but I will not be bought under the power of anything. If there's something in my life that I recognize as nasty, a nasty little habit, the work of sanctification calls for you to get rid of it. Deal with it. You say, I don't know how to deal with it. Get in God's presence. Let me tell you something about your Jesus. The closer you get to him, the more that stuff will seem so minuscule and so needless, and I don't want it and I don't need it. If it becomes between me and you, my little habit of going late at night when nobody else is watching and I'm sneaking on the internet and going places I don't need to go, all of a sudden, that's not big enough. I need you more than I need it. I'll get rid of it, and I need. Somebody say nasty little habits, nasty. That little habit of me not really giving everything in my tithes and offerings, and I'm not giving to God. And now we're about to go into a new land. Can I talk and keep it real with you? Can I keep it real with you? We're about to go into a new place, into a new area, a new church. What would it look like for us to go into the new church and now we slack off? Now we stop operating in faith. Now we're not giving. Now we're not loving. People come in and we looking at them rolling our eyes, and you better not sit in my seat. This is my seat. I'm right here with me and Pastor Rich. He knows that I sit here every time. You better not come over me. You better not come. You don't know nothing about me. I'm from off the corner. You don't know. And nasty. And God can't use you. God can't use you. Well, I ain't gonna give. Y'all don't know. I gotta go to the movies this week. You know, so and so coming out. That's my jam. That's my movie. I gotta go. And now you're not giving. And as a result of not giving, the kingdom is not growing. And you're the person that God said, I want to raise up to bless through you. Last couple of minutes, let me close this down. 3 little nasty habits that we got to understand. First nasty habit is a little nasty habit of forgetfulness. Have you ever been there? If you look at the context of the scripture in Deuteronomy 8, one of the first things he said is don't forget. Don't forget. Don't forget a little nasty habit of forgetfulness. You forget who you are. You forget where you're from. You forget what you've done. You forget where God has brought you from. It's a nasty little habit of, I'll just be forgetting. I don't know. No. I love this story. It's a story of a guy by the name of Blaise Pascal. Blaise Pascal. On the night that he was converted to Christ, November the 23rd, 1654, he penned these words to capture his encounter with the living God. This is what he wrote. Fire, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob. Certainty, certainty, certainty. Emotion, peace, God, Jesus Christ. That's what he wrote. Thy God shall be my God. Oblivion of the world and of everything except joy, 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 tears of joy. That was what he wrote, the paragraph he wrote. When he died, years later, they found this memorial sewn into his jacket next to his heart. He kept it there in a form of a constant reminder. It's Blaise Pascal. This is the one that gave us the great mathematician. If Pascal has to write that down to remind himself, you need to write it down. You need to do something to remind yourself over and over again. Let me tell you how you overcome the nasty little habit of forgetfulness is by developing a ritual of remembrance. Remember, I love that word, remember. Come back into membership with. Come back into it. Come back, because my mind goes all over the place. My mind is like a vagabond. I'm all over the place all the time, and something has to remind me, and so I remind myself. Remember. Oh, I got to go quick. Let me go quick. Here. Let me tell you another little nasty little habit. Can I tell you another nasty little habit? Nasty little habit of forgery. Forgery. Remember what God said. He said, the moment that you forget and you start getting full and you start burping and you start going, he said, what'll happen is that you'll forget it was me and you'll start saying, my hands have done this for me. My own strength, my own power did this for me, and you start forging the story. You start forging and saying that it was you that did it when you know it was God. It's a great book by the guy, doctor I've been reading. I've been loving his work. His name is Dr. John Gottman, and his book, The Science of Trust. He says that when confronted, what happens often when we're in so much negative, when we get so changed and turned from negative feelings. He said when confronted with repeated kinds of experiences, what happens is the brain intuitively extracts rules without knowing why. When confronted with anomalies in cognitive dissonance, the brain rewrites history so that it makes more sense and can be more easily retained. The same process is whole for the ever-changing story we're constantly telling ourselves about people around us. You see this he said that we see this mostly with couples. He said couples who are in distress, couples who are in problems marriage-wise. He said one of the first things that we do is we ask them about how they met. He said we ask them about when they got married. And he said we can tell the temperature of where they are in their relationship. Because if they go back and they all of a sudden say, you know what it was a cold, dark night. Oh, it was a beautiful day, and I remember the day, and I can explain it. Or will they just say, you know what, yeah, I remember when we got married. Oh, it was a mess. I don't even know what she wore. I don't even remember the colors. All of a sudden, you're starting to retell history in your own mind. And you rewrite the history. You forget all of the good, and all you remember is all of the pain and all of the bad. We do this all of the time. You've got to be careful. How do you overcome the nasty little habit of forgery? You overcome it by the ritual of recall.